Well, I can officially say my face looks a lot less gnarly than it did the last time I did this chapter upload. But yeah, once again, I still got that nasty, gnarly bruise under there due to smacking the windshield of a car. So, in case you didn't watch last week's chapter upload, that's what happened, and my face looked about 5 to 10 times worse. It's healing. So, anyway, we're on chapter 6. Chapter 6, whoop whoop, of Reaper Adventures Protection, which is my book number 4 of the Reaper Adventures series. And you don't want to be bringing your kids to this, because it's really not kid-friendly. I mean, fur babies obviously excluded. Just use my little fur baby. And sniffing my phone. She's a cutie pie. Spoiled little brat, but I love her. But don't bring your people kids. Yes, I know. Because it's for mature audiences only. We all know I don't write down the curse words, I blurt them out, and there's no sex scenes in these books. But there is the fight scene between the Reapers and the first three horsemen of the apocalypse, which we've passed. There's a mention as well as a scene of abduction, which we've also passed. There's a mention of torture and one or more scenes of torture, as well as mentions of alcoholism, and there was a car accident scene in the previous chapter. But right now we're on chapter 6. And in case you are all wondering, this is a Assassin's Creed soundtrack. It's on a CD. I don't know the names of the songs, so yeah, just oh shit, I'm shining over there. That must be glass. Anyway, this is Assassin's Creed 2 CD 2 of a soundtrack that I can't remember all the songs off of, so just mentioning that in case YouTube is gonna copyright claim my shit, which it seems to love to do. Moving on. You know the reasons why you don't bring your kids to these. We're gonna continue. Chapter 6. It took a few days for Serena to pull herself out of her horrible funk. The demon had patiently waited, dealing with Chris's undisguised dislike towards him. Yeah, well, I mean, Chris don't like him. A lot of people don't like them. Moving on. Serena had finished getting ready for the day and entered the kitchen. A pot of fresh coffee was waiting, and Serena poured herself a cup. Serena studied the demon as he watched the scenery outside the window. Mind you, he's probably seen this scenery for a few days now. He might be bored of it. Continuing. I'm calling in one of my favors, Serena told the demon when he turned his attention to her. What do you want from me? The demon asked. Serena blinked with confusion. For me to return the favor you're calling in, the demon clarified. Serena was silent, mulling over the multiple possibilities that presented themselves. I want you to help me find a place. I've been having really weird dreams lately, and the library keeps running through my head. That and strange things have been happening to me. Now I feel like I enter a person's mind to get the required answers when I question them, Serena explained. Not sure if the demon even knew, let alone cared what she was talking about. You want me to help you find the library? The demon questioned, more for clarification than an actual answer. Serena nodded with confirmation. The demon sighed and studied Serena. Personally, I'm surprised you know what I'm talking about. Good girl. Moving on, continuing. I was talking to my cat on the good girl part, so we're continuing. Personally, I'm surprised you know what I'm talking about, Serena said. How do you know what I'm talking about? Serena inquired with suspicion. You're not the only person who's asked me to help them find the library, the demon replied in a blank, uncaring voice. I can bring you to the entrance, but that's all, the demon told Serena with a sigh. Serena nodded to let the demon know that she understood him. What's your second favor? The demon asked with a small smirk. I'll be calling the second favor in at a later time in the far future, Serena said with a feeling of triumph. The demon gave Serena a quick scowl, sighed with annoyance, and mumbled what sounded like fine. Serena finished her coffee, and then her, Chris, and the demon left her apartment. Serena had reported her recent accident to Jeromeson Police Station and was currently under investigation to make sure she hadn't been drunk when she had been driving. The demon didn't seem too keen on cars, and Serena began to wonder if he had been more injured by the accident than he had let them know. Like I said, the car accident scene was the previous chapter. I'm just reminding you all. So continuing. More injured by the accident than he had let them know, she decided not to push that topic and was grateful for the illusions he had put over his wings and tail and other differences he had. Those other differences being his ears, his pointer fingernails, and his eyes. They continued to walk around the main area of Jeromeson. Do you even know where we're going? Chris asked at the demon. The demon ignored him and found what he had been looking for. Oh my god, wow. The eyelash is poking me in my eye. And found what he had been looking for. See that small building? That's an entrance to the library, the demon told Serena. Serena studied the very small building with a raised eyebrow. It doesn't look like the library in my dreams, Serena said. Appearances are deceiving, especially with entrances to the library, the demon sighed. About that second favor, the demon started. Not until the far future, Serena repeated with a pointed look. The demon narrowed his eyes and gave a soft hiss before turning his attention elsewhere. Yeah? Serena looked at the small building and walked to the door. She cautiously entered the building and closed the door behind her. She then stared at the much larger building than possible when the exterior was taken into consideration. I'm hoping to tie this into another story series, this little library, or maybe all of them. I'm kind of not sure. We're figuring it out, but that is kind of like a tie in to another story. So now we will continue. Hello? Serena called, looking around at the impossible interior. Be right with you, a male's voice responded. I don't know how to do the accent, so I'm doing my normal voice instead. A male's voice responded. Serena didn't recognize the accent, and she waited at the front desk when she reached it. Can I help you? The male's voice asked behind Serena when she looked around. She jumped and turned around to see an 18-year-old with black hair, amber eyes, and pale skin. I hope so, Serena replied with a smile. The teenager waited patiently. I have some questions, Serena explained. I might have some answers, the teenager said. I'm Serena Lunar. Serena introduced. I'm Jack. Just Jack, Jack told her. He held out a book Serena swore hadn't been anywhere near him. She blinked with confusion and took the book. That book will help answer your questions. Treat it nicely, though. It won't answer any question if you don't be nice to it, Jack said. Okay, Serena commented, thoroughly confused as to how a book would answer her questions. You'll find out, Jack stated with a dismissive shrug, and then walked in even more confused Serena to the door. Serena walked out of the library, the mysterious book still in tow. She went back to where Chris and the demon were waiting and headed to her apartment, dismissing the demon until further notice. Chris followed Serena in silence. They reached their apartment just as Serena's phone rang. Serena picked up the phone and answered it with a polite, "Hello?" "Detective Serena Lerner?" Chief Law's voice inquired on the other end of the line. "Speaking," Serena confirmed. "Congratulations. You're no longer suspended. Everything was clean," Chief Law told Serena. "Thank you, Chief," Serena said with a smile. "Be at work tomorrow," Chief Law ordered. "Yes, Chief," Serena agreed. The chief hung up, then Serena put her phone back on the receiver. She turned her attention to Chris, who was watching her with a blank expression. "Back on the force?" Chris questioned, even though he already knew the answer. Serena nodded with confirmation. Chris was silent as he turned his attention to the table. "That's good," Chris finally said, just as Serena was about to ask him if something was wrong. Serena knew that the topic of conversation was over and wondered if Chris would have told her if something was wrong in the first place. She decided that he probably wouldn't have and got ready for the night, preparing for the early morning ahead of her. Chris was silent as Serena settled in for the night. He wasn't sure why Serena returning to work bothered him. He shifted into his true form when Serena fell asleep and lay down on the floor beside her. As I keep mentioning, Chris is not technically human. He is a Deoman, which is a type of monster that eats the essence of any living being's soul and then can shift into said living being. Lay down on the floor beside her, and we're continuing. After a few perimeter checks, a few hours of nervous pacing, and some attempts at resting, sleep finally dragged Chris under its welcome depths. And that is the end of Chapter 6. It was actually a very short chapter, but we're on Chapter 7 for sometime hopefully next week. So we're good with that. We're finished with Chapter 6. Woot woot! And we're going to be going on to Chapter 7 sometime next week. And I have some accounts that I need to do some promotional things on for the Reaper Adventures. But I do know on my Wattpad account, which is at Tempesta771, there is a series called Fallen Ascension, which I'm working on, which is basically the Reaper Adventures. Get down from there. The Reaper Adventures series from the demon's point of view, and that's Wattpad account, which is once again at Tempesta771. I have a TikTok account, which I have to do more videos to promote my books on. That TikTok account is at AirturnCraven2, no uppercases or space. I'm really honestly not sure, but maybe you can also find it under Tempest Braveheart. Do not quote me on that. I really don't know. I'd just be on the safe side and look for at AirturnCraven2. I have an Instagram, which is under the name Tempesta Braveheart, which is actually quite a long name to type in. But Tempesta Braveheart, no uppercases or space. You could possibly find it under Airturn Craven, like the TikTok, but I really don't know. I do believe you can, but I don't, like I said, I don't know. So, just look under Tempesta Braveheart if you ever feel like looking up my Instagram. Oof, excuse me, I burped. I have a Facebook, which is under the name Airturn Craven. That has uppercases and a space. I don't, I will try to accept your friend request if I don't know you, but, if you turn out to be creepy in a not good way, I suppose, because there's varying levels of creepiness. But if you turn out to be creepy and you send out a friend request and I accept it and you turn out to be creepy, I am going to block you. I'm just letting you know right off the bat, you know. I have a Snapchat account, which I probably just use for communication. I still don't know why I have it, which is under the name Urgent Craven as well, but that has no uppercases or space. And we're all watching my YouTube. And what are you doing, little girl? Anyway, we're watching my YouTube, which is under the name Tempest the Braveheart. Yes. What you insnifficating? What are you insnifficating? Okay. Hey, you can break my bookshelf like that. I don't need a broken bookshelf. We're watching my YouTube, which is under the name Tempest the Braveheart. We finished chapter 6. We'll be moving on to chapter 7, preferably sometime next week. I really realize it's inconsistent. I am trying to keep it at least a week. Anyway, soda. Can never go wrong with soda. Anyway, peace out, Girl Scouts, and enjoy the mental hilarity.